Welcome back to Dear Kimmy. Today we have a question from Melanie. She's asking about nasal breathing. Her question says, Dear Kimmy, all my life I've heard breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth when exercising, trying to calm down, trying to sleep. But why? What is the theory? What is the science? Well, let me tell you a little bit about breath work, breathing through your nose. It's definitely become a hot topic over the last few years. Breathing through your nose, or what they call nasal breathing, definitely has benefits. And just so you know, long ago, we only did nasal breathing. But something happened along the way in evolution, and we started breathing through our mouths. Actually, a really interesting book called Breathe, and I'll go ahead and put it in the info notes below. They talk a lot about the evolution of the human body and the jaw and how and why we breathe the way we do. So that's probably why we went from nasal breathing to mouth breathing. Just side note, fantastic book. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about nose breathing and the reasons it's actually better for you. The first thing is when you breathe through your nose and the air goes through those nasal passages, you are filtering out foreign particles. So it is your own body's natural filter system. That's a plus. Another thing is when you breathe in through your nose, you are humidifying the air. Another bonus. Now, one you might not know is that nasal breathing actually releases nitric oxide, which is really interesting because nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which means that you are improving oxygen circulation in your body when you are breathing through your nose. So all of these things are certainly an important thing for your health and for your body in general, not even talking about exercise yet. Now, what about mouth breathing? Well, mouth breathing is something that a lot of people do, and some people have a deviated septum. Some people have such bad allergies that they're constantly stuffed up and they cannot breathe through their nose. All kinds of reasons. Some is just habit. Like I said, there has been this evolution where people now breathe through their mouth. But there are some risks involved. And when I say risks, I wouldn't be too worried, but these are the kind of things they talk about for mouth breathing. For one, you're inhaling unfiltered air. So that's obviously not as ideal. Some people have allergic reactions or allergens when they breathe through their mouth. There's asthma, bad breath, tooth decay, gum inflammation. You probably have heard that people snore more when they breathe out of their mouth. That's when they're sleeping. Sleep apnea, even teeth or jaw abnormalities can happen from breathing through your mouth, oddly enough. So if you can breathe through your nose, and I'm just talking in everyday life during the day, not working out, it is better for you. And so it's something you might want to work on. There's all kinds of nasal breathing things that you can do. And if you have no idea if you breathe through your nose or your mouth, some people put tape over their mouth. That is a very simple way to test right away, do I breathe through my mouth or am I a nasal breather? You'll know right away, tape your mouth, and if you have this sudden anxiety because you cannot breathe, you're probably a mouth breather. Now, your question specifically was about exercise. Now, according to this article, this is a Healthline article, and they had researched a couple different studies, and what they determined is that breathing technique doesn't affect athletic performance, and that the mode of breathing during exercise should just be decided by the individual. I have to say, for the general public like ourselves, yes. I wouldn't worry when you're exercising if you're breathing through your nose or breathing through your mouth. Like when you're running hard, the last thing you can do is try to breathe through your nose. You're trying to get as much oxygen as possible, and that's going to be from breathing through your mouth. So I really wouldn't worry about it. Now, there are some forms of exercise. There's a lot of yoga practices where you're specifically going to be breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Very common in Ashtanga yoga. So definitely some types of exercise are going to guide you that way. But in general, for the general population like ourselves, I wouldn't worry about it when you exercise. Now, there are just as many studies out there, if you Google, that'll say it is so important to nasal breathe during exercise, and there's going to be all these benefits. What I have found when I do that kind of research is it's more for the high-level athlete. They might be getting some of those benefits. Those high-level athletes already breathe through their nose. Most of them aren't retraining themselves to breathe through their nose. So at the end of the day, Melanie, Don't worry about it for exercise, but definitely check out, are you a nasal breather or a mouth breather? Because the rest of the day, you might want to work on nasal breathing. Now, if you could, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have a question for Dear Kimi, post it below or feel free to shoot me an email, kim@earnthatbody.com.